CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Brendan Purdy.
We're so encouraged to see this site up for sale finally.
Tonight on CTV News, rare opportunity or wreckage. A demolished downtown site is for sale. Good evening and thank you for joining us. A prominent property downtown is up for sale. The site of the former Bank of Montreal building on 101st Street has been an eyesore of rubble and rebar for years. People in the area are hoping a new owner will bring change. CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports.
The listing calls it an extremely rare opportunity, a corner lot in the heart of downtown, close to the new LRT. For the last 7 years, downtown advocates like Cheryl Watson have described it a different way.
Such a wreckage site.
The Bank of Montreal building on this site was demolished in 2018. Bits and pieces of its marble facade now mixed with rubble and rebar. Surrounded by a security fence installed on city orders, people had been accessing the still intact basement.
It's just been something that we've been so frustrated with for so long. We're so encouraged to see this site up for sale finally.
Regency Developments owns the property. It did not respond to CTV's request for comment. The pandemic interrupted its redevelopment plans, and market conditions for tower projects remain risky. Still, downtown councillor Ann Stevenson says that's no excuse for the lot to look like this.
I certainly don't feel that every effort was made to make that site as tidy and attractive as possible.
Stevenson is happy to see the for sale signs too. She's in touch with the realtor, hoping the city can work with any new owner to make better use of the property while it waits for redevelopment.
Recognizing that any sort of tower project would be years in the making. Even in the best of conditions, it does just take time to line all those pieces up.
The Downtown Revitalization Coalition is also eager to connect with the next owner.
This location really is a demonstration of the economic vitality and community of our downtown, and so we're just so excited and would love to work together with the future owner to daydream together.
The property is listed for $6 million. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is slated to address business leaders in Calgary tomorrow. This according to the Prime Minister's itinerary. It adds that the PM will participate in a collaborative energy strengthening signing ceremony. It's expected to be a memorandum of understanding signed between the PM and Premier Danielle Smith on a pipeline to carry Alberta oil to the BC coast. MLA Jason Nixon has been at the table for those discussions. He says this is the most confident he's been that there's a path forward for Alberta.
I'm very confident what you'll see tomorrow is big movement in that space that creates a pathway forward where our industry is going to be able to succeed, including in pipelines, but in other areas, and that we're going to see hopefully the regulatory system in our country change so that we can make a clear message to Albertans and Canadians that Canada is open for business and that Alberta is open for business.
Opposition leader Naheed Nenshi says he hopes the Premier has made a deal, but adds that it might not be enough.
The MOU is necessary but not sufficient. It's really important to get the conditions right to get a pipeline built, but now the hard work starts. And that hard work is rolling up your sleeves and working with proponents, with Indigenous peoples, with communities along the route to develop a route that makes sense and a project that can get built.
The Prime Minister is scheduled to speak around noon tomorrow. Meanwhile, in Ottawa, the expected announcement appears to be creating turmoil in the Liberal caucus. CTV's Abigail Beeman has the latest.
What's your message to BC MPs concerned about the pipeline?
No comment from the Prime Minister this morning on potential caucus discord over a pipeline to the BC coast and an agreement with Alberta expected to be announced Thursday.
We enjoy a very open and engaged dialogue.
Very good conversation.
And few words from the Energy Minister, who started his day briefing those BC MPs on what's to come.
Were you reassured by Mr. Hodgson this morning?
I was.
Details on both the meeting and what's in tomorrow's announcement scant.
It's premature, irresponsible for anybody to talk about, what people think and who's saying what until there is something that's on paper.
With some MPs, including the caucus chair, insisting everything is fine.
I support the Prime Minister, and Prime Minister has a vision. and something really good will come out of this tomorrow.
Everybody's happy, honestly.
But the former environment minister wouldn't answer when asked multiple times if he was mulling over quitting. And many BC MPs wouldn't stop to talk. This pair, including Vancouver's former mayor, walked by silently 3 times.
You've got BC bought in, you've got First Nations leadership bought in, and First Nations communities bought in is the minimum expectation.
The memorandum of understanding that we're negotiating with Alberta creates necessary conditions, but not sufficient conditions.
That was an oxymoron statement if I ever heard one. I don't understand what it meant. It's just, I don't think regular Canadians will understand what that means.
In addition to any potential pipeline opposition that may or may not be bubbling inside caucus, it very much exists from coastal BC First Nations and BC's premier, who said it's unacceptable his province hasn't been involved in the talks. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
In another war of words, this one between BC and Saskatchewan is over a lost opportunity. Saskatchewan potash company Nutrien has decided to bypass British Columbia and build a $1 billion ocean terminal on the U.S. West Coast.
It is unacceptable. It is deeply disturbing and problematic that Nutrien decided to go to Washington State instead of coming to British Columbia.
That Premier says, we don't want oil in this port, Mr. Speaker, because you can't get a boat into it. And then that same NDP policymaking Premier, Mr. Speaker, questions why another industry isn't making that very investment in our nation.
Nutrien says the proposed facility would create deep water access in the Pacific Northwest, enabling the company to move millions of tons of Canadian potash to global markets. Edmonton police have identified a man found dead on Friday night as 42-year-old Burton Lee Gamble. Edmonton police say a community safety team found his body just before 9 o'clock on Friday night near 97th Street and 107th Avenue. Officers say it was apparent he had injuries. They say it's a homicide, but won't say how Gambler died for investigative reasons. Police are looking for surveillance video and witnesses. A semi-driver has been ticketed after an LRT crash in South Edmonton this morning. Around 9 a.m., the semi collided with an oncoming train at the intersection of 75th Street and 51st Avenue. The train derailed and the windshield was damaged. Police say 2 passengers were assessed by medical crews on board and released shortly afterwards. The driver of the train was taken to a medical clinic for precautionary reasons. Police say the driver of the semi wasn't injured and was issued a ticket. Harsher measures are coming for commercial truck drivers with bad driving records in Alberta. Class 1 tractor-trailer drivers will have to provide their driving records when they move to a new job. It's an effort to have a record follow the driver instead of their company. Transportation Minister Devin Dreeshen says this move would allow companies to know who the good and bad drivers are before they get behind the wheel. This will be phased in beginning December 1st. A full rollout is slated for June 1st of next year. Advocates for the disabled are concerned about changes coming to our province. The province of Alberta is introducing a new program called the Alberta Disability Assistance Program, or ADAP. The province says it will help disabled people find work, but some worry it will simply reduce their benefits. CTV's Kevin Green reports.
Shyla Brandt receives $1,901 a month in AISH benefits, but like all 79,000 AISH recipients, she'll be transitioned to ADAP. It will have lower benefits. She'll be able to apply to get back on AISH, but there's no guarantee she'll be accepted, and if her benefits get cut, she'll have to give up her apartment.
I'm screwed. I'd be on the street. My food's already gone, my cable, my internet's already gone. My transportation's already gone. They wouldn't leave really much of anything.
Right now, about 16% of AISH recipients work. Minister of Assisted Living Jason Nixon thinks that should change.
AISH was not built to support those who are able to earn a paycheck. AISH, like disability programs across the country, penalizes people for getting a job.
Economists who've studied the changes say many people will see benefits drop after being deemed able to work because they'll be unable to find any work.
But a large part of this issue is going to be, are there jobs available that have the correct assists or accommodations for people?
I would love to be working
I would love to be working, yeah.
AISH recipient Larissa Armstrong has tried to find a job, but says in a market where healthy 23-year-olds are having trouble finding work, a middle-aged AISH recipient has little chance.
They're saying we've listened to AISH recipients, we've listened to these people. They want more work, they want more supports for work. Yes, we want all that, but not at the price of cutting our benefits.
Nixon says Alberta pays the highest benefits in Canada to its disabled citizens, and the new rules won't change that.
Making Alberta a leader in disability supports, inclusion, and employment.
Bill 12 does not set down criteria determining who the government thinks is able to work, but it does take away a disabled person's ability to appeal a decision once it's made. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
A wheelchair organization is pleading to the people who stole its trailer to leave it somewhere safe. Inside are 15 specialized basketball wheelchairs. As CTV's Nariman Issa reports, the missing chairs are affecting more than just the organization.
It's been a frustrating past few days for Ross Norton and the staff at the Alberta Northern Lights Wheelchair Basketball Society.
I was contacted by the school on Monday morning. They expected the chairs to be there, and they were wondering where it was, and I realized that the trailer was stolen at that point.
The Society's trailer was parked outside Memorial Composite High School in Stony Plain. Inside are 15 specialized wheelchairs.
These chairs get used by the schools all over northern and central Alberta in their phys ed classes, and students get a chance to play wheelchair basketball.
It's believed the trailer was stolen around 6 o'clock Sunday morning. Surveillance footage shows at least 2 people hitching the trailer to a truck and driving off.
They were older chairs, so the actual value is low, but to replace them, they're about $7,000 a piece, so about over $100,000 replacement value.
He's asking for the public to keep an eye out for the trailer with the Society's logo on the side. The first truck is described as either a gray Ford Super Duty or a Chevrolet Silverado, and a red truck, possibly a Ford Super Duty.
If anyone's seen or heard anything, if they've encountered any ditched wheelchairs on the side of the road or in a field somewhere, they're more than welcome to come to the detachment and report it there.
Norton says he'll now have to equip his trailers with GPS, another cost to incur.
There might be a time when we just have to close it down because we can't secure our equipment anymore. That's very frustrating. That would be devastating for us.
He's asking for anyone with information to report it to police. Nariman Issa, CTV News, Edmonton.
Chronic kidney disease has been called a silent killer. That's because by the time symptoms start to show, it's often too late. One Alberta man has been up against the odds for decades as he advocates for early detection. CTV's Gates Guarin has his story.
When you have a transplant, you need to look after it by suppressing your immune system.
Sean Delaney has to take drugs every single day to make sure his body doesn't attack the kidney he received from a living donor.
I'm up to around 170,000 pills since my first transplant.
That transplant came when he was 27 years old, thanks to his younger brother.
It was a huge game changer.
Delaney has been dealing with kidney disease his whole life. He lost his left kidney when he was just a month old. The 54-year-old had a second transplant 5 years ago.
A wonderful friend of a friend who heard my story through a mutual acquaintance. She came forward and was my match.
Living with kidney disease has allowed Delaney to quickly pinpoint signs of declining health. For others, those signs come when it may already be too late. New data shows the death rate for Canadians with chronic kidney disease has increased by more than 70% since 1990.
What it tells us is that people that have kidney disease already, we're failing them. We're not detecting them in time.
The Kidney Foundation of Canada is calling for a national framework around kidney disease. They say a simple blood or urine test is enough to detect those warning signs.
So if we diagnose people earlier and we intervene earlier, then we have the opportunity to prevent people from ever needing dialysis or a transplant.
Delaney advocates for early detection. He says it honors the gift of life he was given. He has since gotten back to the things he loves most, spending time with his daughters and grandkids in the great outdoors. He had just completed a hike through Portugal and Spain, the weight of that moment not lost on him.
I walked nearly 200 kilometers, and the first text I sent when I got to the very end of it was to my second donor, Brenda, and I said, we made it, not I made it.
Delaney says he'll continue to fight the disease
You can either let it take you down or use it as a motivator, and I choose the latter.
And encourages others to do the same. Gates Gorin, CTV News, Edmonton.
Former Deputy Premier and Forever Canadian campaign organizer Thomas Lukazik was honored as a guest in the Senate today by Alberta Senator Daryl Friedhandler.
The petition triggered a movement of over 10,000 volunteers and 6,500 registered canvassers, of which I was a proud one. At the heart of the effort is Thomas Lukazik, who I'm honored to welcome to the gallery today.
Lukazik, recognized for his work gathering more than 556,000 signatures from Albertans as part of the Forever Canadian petition to keep Alberta a part of Canada. The movement launched to counter separatists looking for a referendum on Alberta independence. Just ahead, promising pet pricing. Pet ownership in Morinville is about to get a bit more affordable. Plus, finding the perfect artistic combination. Local dancers team up with singers from Ukraine.
When Vaughan asked us to come here to Edmonton, we were so excited because this is like a new experience for us, for our group.
Good evening, folks. Colder air dropped in today, and it will stick around for a few more days. And could see a little bit of light snow tomorrow night, but it's really next week that the snow finally arrives. Full of your forecasting comments.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Welcome back. Pet ownership is about to get a little cheaper for people living in Morinville. The town has decided to end its pet license requirement. As CTV's Amanda Anderson reports, pet owners still have some rules to follow.
These tags will soon become a thing of the past in Morinville. Starting January 1st, people will no longer have to take time to fill out paperwork and pay to license their pets.
We just found that the system isn't necessarily required anymore with social media the way it is and the ability for the people to get their own tags. It just made more sense that they would provide their own tag that suited their own animals.
Pets will still need identification when they're off their own property. A tag with up-to-date contact information for their owner, either a phone number, address, or both, is required.
I think that's very efficient. I mean, some people's pets don't even ever leave the house. So, too much government control already.
And of course, we always strongly recommend that animals are permanently ID'd through microchip.
Hi, Nettie. You want to come get scanned?
The nearby Second Chance Animal Rescue Society has had several animals wind up in their care, and thanks to microchips, they were able to quickly find their owners.
We had a cat come in a few months ago. We scanned the cat for a microchip. We were able to run it through the system and pull up ownership information. They came and picked their cat up within the next couple of hours. Any kind of identification that we can help get them back to you is phenomenal.
The cost to license pets was a one-time $100 fee per pet, then a $10 renewal fee each year, money that went into the town's general revenue stream.
That loss of revenue wasn't substantial enough, and it definitely didn't outweigh the convenience factor of having residents, not have to come all the way down to the town office, register their animals, and then have to utilize the tag that we provide them.
All other pet bylaws remain in place, and just like getting caught without a license, pets found in public without an ID tag could result in a fine. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Morinville.
An exchange of artistic energy is taking place at the Jubilee Auditorium on Friday. His dancers from Edmonton perform with singers from Ukraine. As CTV's Connor Hogg found out, the performers say the energy that they create together on stage is propelling them to new heights.
Canadian, showing our Ukrainian culture is, I think it's really huge. As a dancer itself, it's really incredible, like dream come true to be dancing on such a stage.
Practice makes perfect, and the dancers of Vaughan Ukrainian Ensemble are putting in the hours. Preparing to present Svitlo at Alberta's Northern Jubilee Auditorium.
It's just so much bigger than any stage we get to dance on normally that you can really just kind of let yourself fully dance. You're running, you're not holding back, hitting our full potential.
Much of the motivation to hit that potential comes from the show's subject matter, as well as its cast, which includes 8 special guests from Ukraine's Gerdan Theatre.
When Vohon asked us to come here to Edmonton, we were so excited because this is like a new experience for us, for our group. Sing and dancing all together.
Their voices are booming in the studio. It's almost like spiritual and transcendental. It's more than just listening to a track and dancing to it. Like, you are feeling it in your body.
How does it make you feel when you're performing and you're sharing the music?
The best for me, this is like I feel shiver, goosebumps, and my heart opens in my love.
Dancers and singers taking the stage together. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
After the break, Toss for a Cause. The Edmonton Oil Kings unveil their latest teddy bear toss jerseys.
So when we're serving 20,000 kids every single year, we need 80,000 items.
Thursday, a firefighter's dramatic recovery from stage 3 colon cancer and then getting into shape to pose for a calendar raising money for burn victims, plus how to make sure your car is ready in case of a winter emergency.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Help us build a mountain of toys. Donate today at ctvedmonton.ca.
Welcome back into the minus teens this morning. Below average by a long shot and way below average for the daytime high as well. This is the coldest air that we've seen so far this season. We'll see some similar days tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. It does look like it gets a little bit milder early next week as some heavier snow potentially rolls in. We've got some light snow falling in through the Peace Country. That'll drift off to the east and southeast. Doesn't look like anything all that impressive through most of the day, but especially late in the day, we'll see some flurries in the Edmonton area, and then things start to get going right along that Highway 16 corridor from Edmonton east towards Lloydminster through the evening hours. So I think we may actually wake up with a bit of accumulation Saturday or Friday morning, probably no more than a dusting to maybe a centimeter or two. So it's not going to be a heavy snowfall, but there's probably some fresh snow on the ground when we wake up Friday. Minus 12 tomorrow morning in Fort McMurray, minus 15 in the Edmonton area, minus 18 for Red Deer, Grand Prairie, about minus 9 and steady through the day. Minus 8, minus 9 in the afternoon. Minus 9 for Fort McMurray as well as Vegreville and Red Deer regions. Jasper gets to minus 4, but minus 10 in Lloydminster. Here in Edmonton, we'll get to about minus 8, minus 9 range for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Cloudy skies tomorrow. Maybe you get a couple of sunny breaks in there, and then especially late in the day and through Thursday night, there's your chance for a dusting to maybe a centimeter or 2. Mostly cloudy Saturday. Sunday up to about minus 4 with a mix of sun and cloud, and then some snow on Monday and temperatures back close to 0. It actually could be several centimeters of snow on Monday, and pretty much every single day next week has at least a chance of seeing some snow. So cold air arrives for this week, kind of retreats a little bit next week when the snow finally arrives. That is your forecast.
The Edmonton Oil Kings showed off some special jerseys ahead of their annual teddy bear toss game.
There's Lewis, alternate captain Ethan McKenzie, defenseman Blake Fiddler, defenseman Reese Peterson, and of course Brickley Bear.
Oh, I love them. Inspired by Edmonton, so it's always awesome, and they have the colorful cartoons on the bottom, which I love. I like the hot dog for Wiener Wednesdays that we have every Wednesday, and then the little beige teddy bear there at the front.
Aside from the hot dogs and teddy bears, the jerseys also feature local landmarks like Rogers Place. Slick-looking jerseys, the players will wear them for their Sunday, December 7th game against the PA Raiders. When the Oil Kings score their first goal of the night, fans will throw their teddy bears and stuffed animals onto the ice.
Teddy bear toss is very important to us. So when we're serving 20,000 kids every single year, we need 80,000 items. And what the teddy bear toss does for us is it takes care of one of those items for us. We don't have to worry about our bears because we know they're going to come from the teddy bear toss.
After the game, the jerseys will be raffled and sold off during a silent auction. All the toys and proceeds will support Santa's Anonymous. All right, folks, I'll tell you from firsthand experience, if you have never experienced a teddy bear toss game in the WHL, you're missing out, and I would highly, highly, highly urge you to check it out this year. That's all from us tonight. Thank you so much for joining us to wrap up your Wednesday. We'll do it all over again tomorrow night, same time, same place. Until then, take care, and goodbye for now.